So in Michigan, a few days ago, there was a school shooting at Oxford High School. A 15-year-old killed 3 people, injured 8. Terrible stuff. Really don't have anything to say about that besides. Um, I've talked a lot about school shootings on stream before, in large part because they keep happening. So naturally, they keep coming up. Uh, and I'll talk about them. Oh, it's 4 now? Has another died? Another has died then. Sorry. This article that I'm looking at is 2 days old, though we're about to jump to an article that's 33 minutes old. I'm going to talk about the normal sort of thing I talk about concerning school shootings in a second, but this particular case got more interesting earlier today because the parents of this shooter have had charges brought against them and are apparently on the run from the law. Now, I want to be clear, we're all covering our bases legally. The lawyer for the family insists that the parents are not running, which is exactly what a lawyer should be saying in the situation. Oh my God, that is what they would be saying. But let's back up a second. Let's familiarize ourselves with the facts of the case. Facing charges, parents of Michigan shooting suspect are now fugitives, claim not the lawyer. Prosecutors charge the parents of the 15-year-old accused of killing 4 classmates, right, 4 now, with involuntary manslaughter, saying they failed to act in troubling signs. Now, this is interesting to me because I cannot remember a single instance of the parents of a school shooter being charged. Maybe it's happened before. If it has, I just don't remember that happening. Pretty extraordinary stuff to hear. And let's see why they're being charged. Because on principle, I don't think necessarily it's right to charge the parents. Even if the parents were irresponsible or, so on, as a default, I don't like the idea of implicating parents when children do really bad stuff. But let's look at the specific, circumstances of the case. The gun was an early Christmas gift from his parents, a semi-automatic 9mm Sig Sauer handgun. Quote, "My new beauty," end quote, Ethan Crumbly, 15, called it. Lovely. The day after Thanksgiving, he and his father had gone together to a Michigan gun shop to buy it. He and his mother spent a day testing out the gun, which was stored unlocked in the parents' bedroom. Lovely, great, good stuff. On Monday, when a teacher reported seeing their son searching online for ammunition, his mother did not seem alarmed. "Lol, I'm not mad at you," Jennifer Crumbly texted her son. "You have to learn to not get caught." A day later, the shooting happened. So that's a lot for a couple paragraphs. Yeah, this is very much an American moment, okay? This moment could not be more American. If it was riding a mobility scooter through a pool of nacho cheese that piled up in an aisle in Walmart. Okay, this is very American. Feeling very patriotic right now. So a couple of things. Look, okay, I think generally a pretty pro-gun person. And I think that there's a reason why, at least when I hear about kids getting or using firearms, they're usually rifles, okay? Usually when kids live out in areas where people hunt for sustenance or places where people think it necessary to teach your kid how to shoot guns, rifles are a reasonable way of introducing them to those guns for a couple of reasons. First of all, very, very few crimes are committed with rifles. You can't hide them in anything. They're quite big, okay? Second of all, you're probably a lot less likely to hurt yourself accidentally because they're like 3 feet long and the tip of the barrel is way far away from where you put your hands. Now, whether or not you have any strong opinions on letting young people learn how to shoot, I think it is wholly irresponsible to buy a gun for them and store it unlocked under any circumstances. I mean, that is like gun safety 101 is you lock up your firearms. I mean, there is no circumstance in which that child of yours should be accessing that gun without your permission. None. if they want to if they want to go to a range, they have to bring you anyway because they're 15. You have the key. You have the passcode. You open the safe. What, they just put it under their pillow? What, do they just have it under the mattress? What? Anyway, and then to top all of that off, like the next day, the kid is searching for ammunition online at school. A teacher reported seeing their son searching online for ammunition. Any kid, any 15-year-old who is looking up ammunition online at school is psychotic, okay? I'm sorry. This is not... And the lesson from the mom, you have to learn not to get caught. What do you mean? It's not illegal to look up ammunition. It's not a matter of getting caught. You just order it at home when you need ammunition. What does that mean? This is so weird. What is she like encouraging him to surreptitiously like what? Anyway, the shooting happened the next day. So anyway, I'm okay with the death penalty for the two parents. No, I'm very okay with charges against them. I'm okay with it. But it goes on. It gets so much worse. It gets so much worse. Okay, listen. The shooting took place on Friday. Karen D. McDonald, the Oakland County prosecutor, laid out those and other chilling details as she took the rare step of filing involuntary manslaughter charges against the suspect's parents, James and Jennifer Crumley. Miss McDonald said the Crumleys were culpable in the year's deadliest school shooting because they had allowed their son access to a handgun while ignoring glaring warnings he was on the brink of violence. Law enforcement officials said the parents had gone missing on Friday afternoon. That's today. That's today. Right now is Friday afternoon, and that the county's fugitive apprehension team, FBI agents, and the U.S. Marshals were looking for the couple. They cannot run from their part in this tragedy. Chad move. You can... Sheriff Michael Bouchard of Oakland County said in a statement, lawyers for the parents said the Crumleys had not fled, but had left town for their own safety and were returning to be arraigned. The parents probably will turn themselves in, but I imagine that they fled in an attempt, like in a panic. They tried to flee the law, and they might be talked down from it. Their lawyer's probably like, hey, there's literally no chance of you running. There is absolutely no chance of you motherfuckers making it out of here. So you should probably run on back. You should probably come back to town. Face the music. Ever since the 1999 attack at Columbine, the parents of children who commit school shootings have come under scrutiny over missed warning signs and whether they should bear some blame. But they are rarely held criminally responsible in the raw aftermath of a school shooting, even though many underage attackers arm themselves with guns from home. But in an extraordinary news conference, Miss McDonald recounted a nearly minute-by-minute litany of missed opportunities to intervene. Guys, get ready. Including how the suspect's parents had been alerted to a disturbing drawing he made containing violent images and a plea for help just hours before the shooting. I am in no way saying an active shooter situation should always result in a criminal prosecution against parents, but the facts of this case are so egregious. This is very severe language for a prosecutor. I'm angry as a mother, I'm angry as a prosecutor, I'm angry as a person that lives in this county. I'm angry, she added. There were a lot of things that could have been so simple to prevent. On the morning of Tuesday's shooting, the suspect's parents were urgently called to Oxford High School after one of his teachers found an alarm. This is the morning of. Found an alarming note he had drawn, scrawled with images of a gun, a person who'd been shot, a laughing emoji, and the words blood everywhere and the thoughts won't stop, help me. This is, in terms of how obvious a tell you're giving, this is the most obvious tell. This would be like a hack writer for a TV show. How do we make this the most obvious? This kid needs to be like immediately what is it? Not institutionalized, like detained for medical safety. What's the term? When a person's like an immediate threat to themselves or others. Yeah, this is like 13 Reasons Why tier behavior. Admitted something, whatever the specifics are. But the point is, this is cartoonishly obvious. Yeah, this is 14 Reasons Why right here, okay? This is the spinoff. This is how bad this... I'm just, like... Anyway, school officials told the parents during the in-person meeting that they were required to seek counseling for their son, Ethan, Miss McDonald said. The teenager's parents did not want their son to be removed from school for the day and did not ask him whether he had the gun with him or search the backpack he brought with him to the office, Miss McDonald said. The notion that a parent could read those words and also know their son had access to a deadly weapon that they gave him is unconscionable, and I think it's criminal. So wait. He was allowed back to class. How was he not immediately... How was he not searched? How was he not immediately sent back home after this? Like, when I grew up, there was like zero tolerance schooling, where if you so much as look mean at a bully, like, they'll send you both home. Like, this kid wrote out his fucking Joker moment manifesto, and they were just like, back to class. Like, found a note? Did he just leave? Like, was he looking for the... A few hours later, Ethan Crumley moved from ominous words into drawing actual bloodshed, bathroom, backpack, handgun starting to fire. At 1:22 p.m., as news of the shooting tore through Oxford, prosecutors said Jennifer Crumley texted her son, Ethan, don't do it, but it was too late. Fuck! It really is like bad writing. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Holy shit. It really is like bad writing, man. Ethan, no. What the fuck? I don't know. In terms of how much information she had access to, I genuinely want to know. Had the news already reported that Ethan was the one who was shooting, or did she just hear there was a shooting and assumed it was her son? Because if she didn't know, if there wasn't an official release saying that it was Ethan, and she just assumed, like imagine how negligent you have to be as a parent to hear, hey, the high school where my son is currently present has a shooting going on, and texting, don't do it, instead of, are you okay? Like, you need to know, you have to know they're the one doing it in order for that to be the info released. At 1:37 p.m., James Crumley called 911 to say a weapon was missing from his house and his son could be the gunman. Wait! 15 minutes later and they hadn't... Wait! 15 minutes later and the possibility that his son was the gunman was of... So that means it wasn't released. She actually did. She heard there was a school shooting and thought, that's my son. Well, death penalty. Yep, death. Yep, death. Yep, death. Yep, death. Law enforcement officials said the gunman fired more than 30 rounds before he was apprehended, being charged with terrorism, first-degree murder, and the deaths of Tate Meyer, Madison Baldwin, Justin Schilling, Hannah St. Juliana. 7 other people were wounded. A lawyer for Ethan Crumley pleaded not guilty. Good fucking luck with that one. On his behalf this week. Parents across the country have been charged with child abuse, violating gun laws, and even negligent manslaughter after their young children accidentally shoot themselves or other children. But gun control experts said Miss McDonald's move to charge the parents with a mass shooting suspect was almost unheard of. I can't think of a high-profile mass shooting where the parents were prosecuted, said Allison Anderman, director of local policy at the Guilford's Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence. In western Kentucky, there were calls 3 years ago to prosecute the stepfather of a 15-year-old school shooter after the authorities learned the teenage gunman had obtained his stepfather's handgun from an unlocked bedroom closet. See, this is the thing that distinguishes this case, okay? In this case right here, the only way in which the parent is culpable is irresponsible storage of a firearm. Whereas in the case described in this article, it's irresponsible storage of a firearm, egging the child's obsession with the firearm on, ignoring existing warning signs, indicating you know your son had a propensity for violence by assuming they were the perpetrator of the mass shooting when it hadn't been officially released to the public or even known who the shooter was. Like, this is so far out there. This is so incredibly far out there. And we have the memorial up, if you all want to feel bad. How hard is it to prove insanity? Does insanity even exist? It is possible to there's a the video on JCS, the criminal, what is it? What's the name of that channel? It is the channel where they go over like it is JCS, criminal psychology. Okay, gotcha. So as I understand it, and I could be totally incorrect, but if you move to plea insanity and it goes through, that doesn't mean you're off free. It doesn't even mean you get a reduced sentence. It means that instead of going to jail, you go to an institution where like you have far fewer freedoms than you do in jail, or like in prison, like the institution is arguably significantly worse, and you lose a ton of legal rights to your own personhood. I think that I think it's safer there, but it's also like a living nightmare. I don't know. I've heard a lot of varied stuff, and I'm sure it differs depending on where you go to, but all the information that I've heard pretty conclusively indicates that going to the institution is not like the easy way out. So yeah, anyway. Hold on. We're getting linkers, but this time their contributions are valuable. Hold on. Ethan Crumley's father bought the murder weapon for his 15-year-old son just 4 days ago. He will be prosecuted alongside his psycho son and sued into oblivion. Very vindictive tweet, but I'm here for it. It's Hickok 45. This is the guy everyone watches on Guns. And here's Ethan Crumbley using his real name on YouTube. Just got mine today. Looks amazing. Thank you, Ethan Crumbley. I hope you don't do anything irresponsible with it. Then here's this is Instagram, right? Instagram picture of a gun. This is the gun I'm going to use, smiley face. Wait, 2 weeks ago. Wait. Didn't he only just get his gun? Like, last week? Guess he must have known what his gift was, and what he was going to do with it. And then here we have some kind of JPEG. Some sort of JPEG. Can't really make out much with how JPEG'd it is. Let me see. Oh, wow. Oh, we got all the info here. Prosecutors considering charge against both parents from the mom's Instagram about the gun. Had money to buy a new gun. Wait, hold on. Ethan Crumley's dad, James Crumley, had money to buy a new gun on Black Friday, but didn't have money to pay child support for his other kid in Florida. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. This is such an American fucking story, dude. Holy shit. Oh my God. Ethan Crumley's mugshot. Oh, here we have the lad himself, practicing his Kubrick stare, with a litany of very serious charges. After he was taken into custody, the suspect met with his parents to sheriff substation, but they wouldn't let him speak with authorities. Oh, well, that's normal. They didn't want their son to talk to us, and they've hired an attorney. Okay, that's normal. I don't know why this was even worth highlighting. You should always get an attorney before you talk to authorities. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, I think. The way that's highlighted makes me feel like this person thinks that's an indication of guilt, but okay. 3 years ago, Ethan Crumbley's parents were making these jokes on their public Facebook wall. This feels like a bit of a reach to me. This could mean a lot of different things. That feels like a bit of a reach to me. Unless this is specifically with regards to like the students at the school. If there's more info, it might not be, but yeah, I don't know. I need context on this. Payback is coming. This could be like he got like a Christmas present he didn't like and he was bitching about it. Like, yeah, I don't know. Couldn't really say. Ethan Crumley's YouTube video depicted him concocting a Molotov cocktail in his backyard that has since been deleted. Okay, I was doing stuff like this when I was a kid. Ethan well, I mean, in California, if you so much as light a match outdoors, you get arrested. But I was doing the whatever I could get away with. I think it's, Ethan Crumley's father has a long trial of debts, including child support money owed to 2 different women in Florida. Wow. $9,100 in unpaid child support. My God. Ethan Crumbley's father posted on Facebook 45 weeks ago, Trump will protect our Second Amendment. I want my child to get a gun. Of course they're Trump fans. Obviously, we did not need that confirmed. On the run, a Florida woman who has a son with Ethan Crumbley's father, James, describes their relationship. Sure, let's learn about this. We're getting all the info anyway.
We're learning more about James and Jennifer Crumbley from a woman who has an 18-year-old son with him. Michelle Cobb says he left them strapped for cash and struggling to make ends meet.
He's a piece of he really is. The whole time of my son growing, my son is 18 years old now. And you know, I cried the moment he turned 18 because I thought all of this hell is over as far as dealing with my son's father.
And the father of her 18-year-old son, Eli, is James Crumbley. James.
That's what he looks like? He looks like Dilbert.
Is also Ethan's father. And Michelle Cobb says it was Jennifer Crumbley.
She looks exactly how I thought she'd look. Oh, God, I don't want to believe in phrenology. I don't want to believe in phrenology. I don't want to believe in phrenology, but she looks exactly how I thought she'd look. Oh, my God.
Who made her son's life unbearable when he would visit his dad and half-brother Ethan. She says it was Jennifer who ran the show.
Jennifer was a monster. She could do no wrong, and she was right about everything.
Prosecutors say it was Jennifer Crumbley who posted the picture of the pistol on Instagram, writing "Mom in Sunday," testing out his new Christmas present.
They pretty much gave him whatever he wanted.
Cobb says while James and Jennifer gave Ethan whatever he wanted, it was a hopeless struggle to get James to pay even $67 a week in child support when he was making six figures.
My son is
six figures? Where do they live? 6 figures? Okay.
6'3" and 240 pounds. Do you know how much $67 a week pays?
More than ever, she's thankful Eli left the Crumbleys' Oxford home right before the start of the pandemic. And Eli says he never even saw any guns when he was here.
The first thing that came to my mind when all of this happened was how thankful that I was that my son was not there.
Cobb says she's heartbroken for the families whose children were killed and those injured, and she says Ethan and his parents must be held accountable for their roles in the tragedy.
Yes, I agree. Let's finish the article, and then I'll delight all of you with more colorful descriptions of how I want the parents to be charged legally. But the local prosecutor decided he could not make a case against the stepfather. That's this stepfather, the one in another case, not the one we're dealing with here. Kentucky law makes it a crime to intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly provide a handgun to a minor, a high standard to prove. Yeah, recklessly is not the same as negligently. Those are two different standards in law. Mr. Faust said the stepfather did not know the gun was gone till questioned by investigators after the shooting. Let's see. There's no local law enforcement charge. There needs to be accountability. Gun control advocacy says lax gun storage leads to suicides. That's true. Yes. Gun safety standards. Michigan has no laws on this subject. Miss McDonald's decision to charge the accused gunman's parents was widely praised by gun control groups. That's not surprising to me. Many states, including Michigan, don't have laws requiring guns to be locked away. Failing students. Yeah, okay, I think we have what we need. Okay. So, death. Death? Perhaps? Yeah. Look, this is one of those death by 1,000 paper cut situations, you know? Usually in a situation like this, you can at least morally trace what took place down to like a couple of instigating negative factors. But in this case, I mean, I feel like it's all here. The kid is a psycho. I don't know whether or not he's 15, so he'll probably be tried as a minor. I don't know how much that's going to affect the legal situation, but he's clearly off his fucking rocker. That doesn't absolve him of culpability for what he did, not even remotely. And as for the parents, death. Oh, they're going for adult. They're actually going for adult on a 15-year-old. Really? That is really surprising to me. You know, vindictiveness is fun. I do try to think of this from a rehabilitative perspective, but my lens of analysis kind of fails here because I don't know if they can be rehabilitated, right? The parents are clearly both disgusting, monstrous people. It's very clear that their poor parenting contributed to their son's poor mental health. Uh, they seem to be holistically miserable pieces of shit, I'm sure. Average Republican, whatever. And as for the kid, it's so hard to tell when a person's that young, but I don't really know what to say when we're talking about situations where I can't really believe anyone involved can be rehabilitated. Do you guys really think parents like that are going to be made better through a stint in prison or a fine? God, Jesus, clearly not. And as for that kid, I mean, that kid wasn't just having a Joker moment. He was writing out the stereotype of a Joker moment. Like it wasn't just like psychiatric episode territory. It was like a bad depiction of one. I mean, I feel like we're well beyond the water here. In this case, like, will there ever be rehabilitation here? I don't know. But committing a kid to life in prison from 15, I don't know. I don't know how you get better from that, right? How do you get better from that? Because at the end of the day, the safety of the public is what matters. If the kid is like 55, like he served a 40-year sentence, and it still seems like he's a threat to other people, you can't release him, right? I have no idea. I do not know how you would even fully manage that. Really, I don't. He made an Insta page with a bio about the shooting beforehand. Really? Is this real? This is real. This isn't a bit. Is this real? I don't think this was confirmed because this is too much. This is too much. This is too much. I can't believe this. I don't believe this. I can't believe this. This, seriously? Now I'm become Death Destroyer of Worlds, see you tomorrow, and then a like death metal Avi. This is too much. Is this really too much more than anything else in the story? Don't you think it's all adding up to be a little bit? No, I don't think so. I can't. No, I can't. I can't. Listen, okay. New plan, okay? The criminal justice system is not capable of meaningfully dealing with problems like these, okay? I have a new solution for the kid and the parents, okay? Honestly, it's just returning to basics here. This one's been around for millennia. Hell. They just go straight to hell. No prison, no trial, even. They just go to hell. We get the Pope. He can do that, right? He has to be able to do that. And they just go to hell. Right? I think so. Yeah. Say that's pretty much all we can do in this situation. Yeah. Oh, one last bit, by the way. Of course. The New York Post, they, back on December 1st, they, had their little article about the Michigan school shooting, and these are the photos they used for this. They used like 5-year-old choir photos or whatever. That meme where it's like he looks 10, he is 10 here. You know that meme where it's like this is wait, actually I think it was posted in response to my quote tweet. Here we go. Oh yeah, this. Seriously, 5-year-old photos. Honestly. What are we doing here? Yeah, the virgin white mass murderer versus the Chad Black shoplifter. It's not 100% of the time, but this does happen a lot, Like, man, Connecticut citizen found, on highway naked after consuming the bodies of family, and they'll use like the dressed to the nines photo. And then when it's like black guy steals Milky Way bar, you've got the picture he took in the bathroom mirror using a using a like Nokia phone as a photo. You know what I mean? It's like I used very obvious what are these called? Stock images here, because I didn't want to just grab some random normal person's photo and implicate them as being a mass murderer or a shoplifter, you know? I was picking out regular photos at first. I just found random photos, and then I thought, wait, hold on. Do I want to post a picture of a black kid and call them a shoplifter? Then I deleted the tweet. Then I went back to the drawing board. Oh, people were hella malding in this. There are a bunch of whiteys who are crazy mad about the guy who drove the car in. The guy who drove the car. This is the guy, right? Suburban Milwaukee killing 6 people. They're like super mad. They're like, well, what about this guy? I don't even know what they're talking about. They're just mad. Anyway, it's just, yeah. Who's defending? Nobody. They're just mad. They're just mad. They're just mad. White people just get hysterical sometimes, like Ethan did, and when he had his Joker moment. Straight to hell. Can we finish on that? Can we just say straight to hell? Just directly, immediately to hell. Right there. No trial. Right to hell. Principally, how do you feel about the death penalty? I'm anti-death penalty. I am pro-hell, however. Okay. Not all of you were here, but last night we talked about the Michigan school shooting, which was terrible and harrowing, and I think remarkable in a couple of ways. One of which being that the perpetrator of the shooting seemed to be interested in acting out the stereotype of a school shooter. If you want to know more, you're just going to have to watch the VOD or the video when it comes out, because, you know, a lot of it really did feel like you ask a bad writer to describe like a school shooting scenario. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was very society. Anyway, the only thing crazier than the kid was the parents who have been charged and are now on the run. And the only thing crazier than the parents who are now on the run are a couple of clips I've seen from different media outlets talking about this. Just hold on, okay? I don't even know how to preface this, okay? Just, oh my God. Well, there's the face. Oh, the parents have been caught? Okay, I just woke up. The parents have been caught. Very nice. They're in custody. Nicely done. Go team.
One post from Ethan Crumbley declares, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. See you tomorrow, Oxford." The quotation can be found in a gory video game.
I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
One post from...
This is real. This is real. Apparently, this actually led into a segue blaming video games, or like implying that video games are at fault for the kid's psychopathy. They use the blame this on video games, by the way. Yeah.
In the wake of the school shooting in Michigan that left 4 students dead, 15 school districts across the Detroit metro area
Isn't this a quote from Vishnu? It's Oppenheimer. It was done after one of the first nuclear tests, right? That screenshot or that video clip from the game, that was Fallout 3. It was after you nuke Megaton, I think, right? Oh, Oppenheimer was quoting Vishnu? Oh, that's based. Oh, Fallout 4. Okay, sorry. All Fallout games after 1 and 2 are bad, except for New Vegas. So it's all the same thing to me.
were closed today because of threats of violence on social media. All this coming as we've learned more about the 15-year-old now charged as an adult with first-degree murder and terrorism.
Wild.
The prosecutor says it was premeditated, pointing to what she describes as his disturbing social media posts.
Police say they have found a horde of graphic journal entries and disturbing videos made by the accused school shooter.
Oh, no.
I spoke with Sheriff Michael Bouchard.
I would characterize a lot of the stuff that we've now seen as dark and as cold-blooded.
One post from Ethan Crumbley declares, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. See you tomorrow, Oxford." The quotation can be found in a gory video game.
I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Several years ago, Crumbley made this video showing off his collection
Oh my
of
God.
violent games.
Got Battlefield
Oh my
4,
God.
Comment if you want to play that one. I hopefully will get to another Nazi Zombies video.
Oh my god, he's like 2 seconds old in this video. Oh my god. Oh my god. What is this? Is this like Jack Thompson era, like late 90s video game paranoia? What are we...
Yeah,
that's Hickok 45.
2 weeks before the shooting, Crumbly commented.
Okay, the rest of it is other stuff, I think. Okay, I gotta keep it 100 with you guys, okay? This isn't something that I cover that often because I don't really think it's that relevant to modern discourse outside of the most insipid, paranoid fantasies of delusional wine moms deep in the white suburbs. However, we gotta stop blaming violent video games for this shit. We have to stop. We have to... I don't know why I'm saying this to you guys, man, but like, it's so disrespectful. Look, okay. I have to steelman this, okay? There is research indicating that frequent consumption of violent video games will desensitize people to violence. So what that means is they tend to be less sympathetic or emotive in response to violence. It makes them a little bit more numb to it, which I think makes sense. You know, that seems like a consequence of exposure to stuff like that. To my knowledge, there hasn't been any evidence suggesting that it causes violence, okay? Now, couldn't you say the same thing about violent movies? Yes. And this is the critical thing, okay? What we're talking about here, this narrative, this talking point, it's exclusively applied to video games, okay? Nobody talks about it in regards to other forms of media anymore because we've already been through that, you know? Back in the 1960s, it was comic books, right? Or maybe even earlier than the 60s. They had like the Hays Code in comics, where it was like the 50s, yeah, where it was like this, you know, this was there's a long-standing history of social conservatives doing everything in their power to restrict new developing forms of media to protect the children. They did this with music. They bitched about rock and roll music with comic books. What was the code where it made it so that what was it? Any villainous character in like children's animation had to display like characteristics of moral you know, like non-morally upstanding. Like basically it's the reason why so many villains are gay coded, because it was like being gay is bad. So if this is to be depicted, it should be depicted alongside villainy so that it's not being normalized or made positive. It was something like that. I don't know. This is a long-standing pattern of behavior. It happened with comics. I assume that it happened with movies, but I don't know that much. It was all film, not just children's animation. God, that's wild. I think Lindsay Ellis has a video on that. Look, it's happening now with the video games, and I feel like it's toned down a little bit, but I hate to take the radical libertarian perspective on this, man, but like, I feel like so much of this is just terrible parents not wanting to take accountability for their own behavior. You know? I feel like so often when kids act this way, now in this case, the parents are having the book thrown at them, and I think that's based. But usually, I feel like so often kids do horrible shit, and rather than blame the parents, they rush to attack anything even remotely, you know, morally non-upstanding. I will say though, okay,
Crumbly made
IMO, this kid looks like 5 years old or whatever. This kid looks like an infant. Would I want a kid that age playing Grand Theft Auto 4? No, I wouldn't. If I was the parent of this kid, I would not want them playing Grand Theft Auto 4, you know? I don't know what lessons they're going to take from a game like this. It's not even from the violence, really. It's just the sort of Grand Theft Auto exists in a kind of, you know, meta-satirical parody of America, and, you know, kids aren't going to get all that. You know, they're just going to sort of absorb whatever is shown. Now, we know that the parents here were miserable pieces of shit, so I already know that they're bad. But, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't mind my kid playing Battlefield 4, though. Like, it's Battlefield, right? I mean, I guess there's, like, the online stuff. I don't know. But, like, Battlefield games are goofy as hell, man. Battlefield games are like if you fucking added like like fake blood splash textures to like school ground tag, you know? Battlefield games are goofy. At least Call of Duty has its like edgy moments. Battlefield's like, dude, drive the tank off the ramp so it hits the plane, and then when it flips, you shoot down, and the down shot will triple kill. You know, it's somewhat innocuous, I think. Anyway, just yeah. Engaging responsibly with this media, it's just. I hate the Battlefield series. I hate the Battlefield series. Look, whatever, okay? This isn't even the wildest take that I saw. This is the second wildest take that I saw, okay? Do you guys know who Kim Iverson is? Kim Iverson is one of those Jimmy Dore types. You might have seen this on Twitter because it's blowing up right now. Kim Iverson is one of those Jimmy Dore types. She's, wow, I just almost said a mental midget. That's not language we use on this stream. I'm sorry. This is... You just said it, though? No, I didn't. Anyway, she's a Jimmy Dore type. And she's on the new Rising, which is really, really fitting. Anyway, I'm not gonna preface this. Please just watch this.
Look at the photos of Ethan Crumbley people on social media and some media outlets are using. He's now 15, and yet they chose this angelic-looking photo from about when he was 10. What is the purpose of this when there are several other photos, like his mugshot, that could have been shown instead? This same sort of tactic is used in reverse against Black perpetrators and even victims. Rather than use their school photo of them smiling and looking like good kids, they use the meanest looking, most aggressive photo they can find on social media to portray them as villains. They attempt to portray them as people who either obviously would commit the heinous crime they did or victims who deserved it. They do this to placate a certain bias and mindset that the audience already holds, and the same looks to be happening in this case. Showing Crumbley as this innocent-looking angelic white kid is intended to stoke fear and support a narrative that white people, no matter how nice they look, are domestic terrorists who we should all be afraid of.
I actually really like this because Kim Iverson is one of the people who does the Nosbo Vortex shit. And this, to me, is basically the kind of talking point you'd expect to see from, like, Pull or, like, Stormfront. It is. It 100% is. The desperation to frame white people as a kind of disprivileged, like, oppressed minority, even in this case, in this situation, like, yeah, it's essentially, like, this is what I mean. People like Kim Iverson, Jimmy Dore, whatever, their simple project is taking people on the left who are disillusioned and pushing them over to the right. And in this case, what she's doing is taking something that left-leaning people acknowledge exists, using sociological sounding language in order to dress up what is essentially a far-right talking point. Perfect. This is picture perfect. It is a perfect representation of everything that I've talked about. All of the language, the tone, the focus, everything is designed to take left-leaning people and move them to a conservative conclusion. This isn't just conservative, though. This would be like, I would expect like this is the kind of stuff I'd expect to see from like when Groypers start quote tweeting you on Twitter. You know what I mean? This is like how what a twist, some M. Night Shyamalan shit. Like, imagine like I don't even know if I could imitate something like that, you know? Like, many studies have shown that in part due to judicial discretion and jury's implicit bias, oftentimes black men, especially black men of a darker skin tone, are sentenced to longer sentences than white men of similar priors and of the same crimes. This is, of course, an effort to discriminate against white men and deny them the free health care that they can access in prison. Like this, that's the tier that we're on right now. I mean, that's how far off into fucking Looneyville. But she does it, man. She sticks the landing. You know, she was ready for it. And I respect that. I don't respect that, actually. I don't respect that even slightly. I've only actually seen one bit of Kim Iverson content, and it was she had a debate with Destiny, I think, about a year and a half ago, and she was arguing that Trump was better than Biden from the left, of course, or something like that, which I think was actually quite a good debate. DM it to me, Vermin. No, I can't make any promises. You know, with my bias towards you and all, I have to be impartial. Does she consider herself on the left? Yes. That is a critical part of this grift. Glenn Greenwald, Michael Tracy, Jimmy Dore, Kim Iverson, the former Fred Hampton leftists, all of them need to constantly insist they're the real leftists, in spite of them constantly promoting conservative talking points, because that is a mechanism by which they move people over to the right from the disillusioned left.